पेटीएम करो।
Jumbo travelers, no, we are not in South Africa, but today we would like to introduce you to someone who has brought South Africa very close to Indian travelers. You must have heard this expat talk about her home country on various platforms, but you will be surprised to know that she is equally passionate about India. In fact, it will be wrong to call her an expat because she is as close to India as you and me.
Okay.
The funniest thing about my India experience is that I go for Hindi lessons. My Hindi is so bad that it is laugh at will. My pronunciation, I was in Delhi the other day and I strung together 5 sentences to this taxi driver and I was so proud of myself, I didn't even hesitate. When I was finished, he looked at me and he said, "Madam, English please." And part of my Hindi lessons involved that I have to watch Bollywood movies and answer questions like an essay because I'm not learning to read it, I'm only learning to speak it. Absolutely not, don't even go down there. My office will tell you that if there's time for comic relief, it's watch Hanneli Hall out. I tell you what movie that seriously frustrates me, and it's the first time in 100 years that I failed a test, was that PK movie.
वो रॉन्ग नंबर वाला सिर्फ हमारी फिरकी नहीं ले रहा है, वो हमारे डर का फायदा उठा रहा है, समझा?
Now, I've done 52 cities in India, and when we arrived, when we left South Africa, we had this list that we made, and a lot of it was my 9-year-old came with us, made it a little bit less scary. So, we looked at all these things about India and we put these things onto our bucket list. We want to go see the tigers, we want to see a sloth bear. It was very basic, very functional in the beginning. And we arrived in India with 53 things on the bucket list, and I stuck it on the fridge and I said to Connor, we are going to tick this off one by one. This is our Indian adventure. And what happened is, as we travelled through India and as we spoke to people, more things got added to the bucket list. So when he left 4 years later, he's in boarding school in South Africa now, we had over 1,000 items on that bucket list that we've checked off already. Sat at the airport in India, and behind me was 4 American ladies, and they were on an Eat, Pray, Love tour, and they were hating it. They were hating every second of it. And I sat there, and when you're working, you subliminally eavesdrop. And I called my flight and I packed up and I actually walked away and then turned around and went back to them and I said, you know what, pack it in, girls. Go to your hotel, go to the concierge desk and say to them, this is what I like doing. India is so big. There are so many things to do. If the ashrams and the meditation is not for you, don't waste the whole trip to India, because Eat, Pray, Love said we must do this. There are a million other things that you could do. And I always find, that as you grow older, the more you travel, the more comfortable you get with things like, this is my cup of tea, this is not my cup of tea. Are we talking country or are we talking cricket team? India is definitely, my social bias is India is my second side. It is, and I bleed very blue when you guys play against Australia. Some days I feel like I've just arrived and other days I feel like I've been here forever. It's always going to, doesn't matter where I go to next, it's going to be a massively big part of my heart. South Africa is more than just home. You know, when you grow up in a country that had so much strife, when you grow up in a country, you know, when I was born, you still had apartheid, and you see at what we've gone through, you see at all the changes we've made, you know, and you see at how peacefully it was done when we all finally got our act together, you know, and you look at the new South Africa, it's quite an emotional experience, you know, a generational thing for us. So it's not just, it will never just be home. It will always be that thing that you have to protect a little bit because it's new, you know. We've only really been a country since 1994. We have to still baby it and look after it and make sure that all the right things happen. So I think for the next generation, you know, it's going to be a nationalist country thing. For us, it's an incubator project.
So next time you meet Hanneli, strike a conversation in Hindi and I'm sure you will have a friend for a lifetime. If you like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and do share it with your friends. Hit the subscribe button below to get the best of best travel features directly in your inbox.